session with X where she jumped from questioning the D. Apparently this wasn't just me interpreting things that way. To dead set against it. I told her it hurts, of course, after a decade with someone. It is hard to see when X actually means what she says and when it is her scared little 5-year-old inside reacting. Told her no matter what, if we ever got back together it would be a completely different relationship as what we had before didn't work. Also, that it's not healthy for me to wait around. I'm moving on with my life. She agreed. X came in and I asked her if she'd made any decisions about changing her work situation to be around D6 more. She dropped lame excuses about the job market. She's in healthcare. I told X you've got a guy here that might be willing to consider staying in state, but in order for him to do so he has set clear boundaries on what he needs to move on with his life. He needs to get out. He's young. His life can't just revolve around D6. That's not healthy. I told her if she wants me to consider sticking around, she needs to step up, quickly. And show me, see me on job applications, etc. whatever it takes to convince. Told her she understands she might not have the energy at the moment to do such a thing. But if she doesn't, me and D6 will be gone and she'll regret it. But it's up to her and she can't put blame for that on me. X said she'd think about it. D6 went in for her session and we went to the waiting room. X went to the counter and signed herself up for 5 to 6 IC sessions in a row and told me she'd be emailing me a list of her IC schedule. I simply said okay. Apparently, the stretch doesn't start till this time next month. The house will be listed by then. X went on about how she needs to stop and get new tires today but doesn't get paid until Friday. So, I reminded her that her car insurance is scheduled to stop on Thursday. Filing day. New me wants to move. New me is confident I could also be happy here, alone. Old me wants to stay for a slightly bigger shred of hope. Me the father wants to put D6 first. Old me wants D6 close to her mom. New me wants D6 close to her improved mom but realizes that's out of my control. No, she has not yet done much. She has been more attentive and engaged with D6 than when she lived here. If I did stay it would be a trial period. I will not commit to staying here for good. Update. D7's IC session once again turned into MC, or should I call it DC divorce counseling. X and I went in for the quick update. Apparently D7 was getting pretty stubborn and lippy with X over the 4-day visit last weekend. Was probably part of the reason X wanted to cut it short a day. D7 has been getting better with me. Her latest feelings pie chart had no angry and happy slice was larger. C asked if we had talked further about the out-of-state move. X told her she had asked me to stay in state and if I would she'd look for a new job. Shift. C asked how I responded and I told her about my boundaries and request for X to prove it and come up with a plan to present to me. C asked how X responded. She said, I haven't. So, C asked if we'd have a full session to discuss as X clearly has trouble communicating with me. We agreed. D7 had her new Nintendo DS in the waiting room along with markers and paper. C brought to surface that X is a bottler and has 2 different worlds. The one swirling inside of her and the one she shows others. Validated my concerns and trust issues and agreed that X should prove her convictions if she wants me to consider staying local. After X said she's been reaching out to employers and old colleagues in HR to try to change employment, C congratulated her on the big step. It then quickly turned into both of them heavily pressuring me to consider staying, or at least that's how it felt. C asked about status of the divorce and custody plan. I told her X gave me rights to move and the papers have been filed. X seemed a little shocked. Perhaps she still thought I wouldn't do it. I said I have the legal right to move and I will not promise to stay. C then said, and she has the legal right to overturn that. To which X replied, I've been thinking about it. Me, the best case scenario is for both parents to be in the same location as D7. But that does not equal Arizona. Me moving with her at this point is not 100% me taking her away from her mom. X always has the option to move. I absolutely prefer to move, but a part of me wants to stay here. If I did so it would be to please X and make life easier for her. And that is not healthy. C commented that my IC has been doing an excellent job with my codependency and asked for me to sign a release so they could talk. We ended with a decision that it is X's job to reach out to me next Wednesday to discuss if next week's session should be joint without D7. Her job as she has been avoiding any decision making. Half hour after the session X texted me informing me she removed me from her health insurance. I thought she already had. How I see this, I'm angry that you went through with the D without begging me to stay. So there. She asked if the official D date was 2/14, as that is what she told HR in order to take me off. Me, official date to be determined. Judge still needs to approve. I then went to my IC. He did have a conversation with daughter's IC before I arrived. She told him how impressed she was with my progress and informed him that D7 is regressing based on falling scores on the global awareness scale. My 99 is in family court a lot and told me not to stress too much about X overturning anything. Said it's always up to the judge, but she has been setting a precedent against herself for a year now, which has gotten worse through the D. We talked at length about my dilemma and he thinks in my situation that I am being more than fair to X and heavily weighing D7's needs. which include me being a healthy man and not just a present father. My trust issues may have clouded me a bit. I received praise from a woman in front of X that felt good. It was immediately followed by hard questions what is really best for D7? I did start with the I have a legal right line. To feel strong again and sure of my stance. C may have been trying to empower X, due to her codependency issues, to keep her momentum going. C did say she understood I took a beating. Perhaps she wanted to speak to my IC to inform him of that more than anything, to make sure I don't go back into react mode. X did come out and say that she already regrets signing the papers, as many people here predicted she would. Today was a doozy. D7 is sick, so cancelled B-Day plans. I dropped her off like normal at X's apartment. X asked me to step out on the porch to talk. She told me she can't change shifts. Her boss heard about her situation and pulled her in to talk. Apparently boss lady offered to escalate her request to corporate to try and get around normal rules. X was expecting me to see this as proof that she is trying hard. Why can't you see I'm trying? I hear you, I do, but I don't see it. You've shown me nothing. She repeats over and again she is trying hard and starts crying. Tells me she cried in boss lady's office. I was unmoved. Do you understand that I'm looking for more than you just changing shifts? X, that's what you want. You want me to change shifts and get away from other man. That was true before the divorce. Now it has nothing to do with other man and nothing to do with us. This is all about D7 now. She was more and more frustrated and told me she had checked into a legal program at work but she can't afford legal fees. If she could we would be in court. I asked if she realized she's talking about challenging something that she wanted. She told me to leave. I stood up and asked when I could expect D7 back tomorrow. She said she might let me know. I have a right to know when to expect D home. If you won't tell me now, I want to know when you will tell me. Tonight, or in the morning. She yelled at me to get the hell out. D heard. I went inside to give D a hug and kiss and let her know all is okay. X slammed the door, went in other room and slammed another door. I said goodbye to daughter. Told her she could call me anytime if she wants to talk and left. Next up, the many texts X sent me after I left. Looks like X got her papers in the mail too, or was just up all night drinking again. Tomorrow morning, I have a joint session with X and the child psych. It should be interesting to hear what she has to say. After that I have my own IC appointment, and I plan to continue IC to improve my self-awareness and work through my issues. Self-help books are still being purchased and I continue my exercise routine, which is new for me and feels great. As I get better at tackling the big issues, I throw in more small goals, improving the diet. I continue to sort through the belongings and slowly pack to prepare the house for the market. That is one area where I am behind and I need to step it up. Listing the house will need to be pushed back a week or two, but that doesn't bother me. Today I confirmed my date with Tiger 38 and I'm looking forward to that. Sounds wonderful, she says. Before that I will be tackling the yard and then Sunday back to sorting and prepping for a garage sale that I'd like to hold next weekend. A few weeks from now Tiger 30 will be in town visiting and wants to do a group meditation session and dinner. Our conversations keep getting better and better and I'm learning she is nearly a completely different person than the girl I knew a decade ago. An improved version. But we are being open and realistic about the nature of the relationship at this point. A strong healing friendship with potential and no rush. Meanwhile I work at remaining outside, or in the center of, the drama triangle when interacting with X. And am doing everything I can to help D7 cope and enjoy herself during this life-altering transition. It is rough for her and we've got a long road ahead of us. But she is strong and amazes me every day. Tiger means new woman, by the way. So, X says she wants to be a better mother, spend more time with D7, and prove herself to me in order to keep me from moving. Thursday I sent her the following email. D7 has spring break coming up. The parenting plan has you listed for spring break on odd years. That does not apply to the 29th but want to keep you informed in case you want her the night of the 28th. Please let me know what you would like to do. Thank you. So far, no response. I'm curious to see what happens. She likely forgot all about spring break and will have to use PTO to take D7 for that week. If she actually is trying to change jobs, that should be a no-brainer. Use up the PTO before leaving. If trying to change shifts, similar story, D7 should be priority. Excellent opportunity to back up words with action. I noticed a difference in D7's behavior last night. She got into a cupboard that holds some of her art supplies. She pulled everything out and started organizing it, throwing away some things she doesn't want anymore. She told me she is organizing her stuff to get ready for the move. Told me it helps her feel better, so I let her and helped as we talked. This is the first thing she has initiated to prepare for the move. Perhaps due to the sorting and garage sale. Perhaps due to the no answer at Mom's. Her pie chart was half miss Mom, quarter sad, quarter happy. She still commented on being angry that we decided on the move. I validated and told her that it is not an easy decision for me or her mom. She asked if I was completely serious about that. Told her absolutely. It seemed to comfort her and she fell asleep smiling. And for some of you who are wondering, how is moving a child away from her mother ever the best thing for a child? My decision to move with daughter has been the hardest decision I have ever made in my life. Harder than the divorce, which absolutely devastated me. Harder than looking inward and admitting that I'm a good person either. Why did I give X a window to prove herself, even though she already had proven where she was with daughter? Why have I put off the house sale for so long? Why did I waive child support? Why did I agree to pay 100% of DS medical bills from here on out? Why did I agree to also pay a portion of X's travel expenses? Because I want X to be involved in D's life, as much as possible. It's so incredibly important to daughter's well-being, now and in the future. But I cannot control that. I wanted nothing more than to see X get her ship together, to prioritize daughter in her life. But it has not happened. I cannot assume that it will. At this point, if I stay it will be the largest, gnarliest, most putrid number 3 that I could ever do. I would be sacrificing what I really want for myself, and have for years, as well as the childhood that I want for my daughter in order to make X's life easier and more comfortable. Because she has shown me that, even while she is trying really hard, daughter is an afterthought. So, staying would not be for daughter. It would be to give X a longer chance. Plus, the future is always uncertain. Buying a house does not equal lifetime permanence, or I wouldn't be selling mine. There are always many options later should circumstance change. On both our parts, will I remain there until D is 18? I don't have a clue, but right now, the things that I see daughter needs and is not receiving from her mother, she will receive an abundance of there, and her mother still has the choice of being involved. How much is up to her? Busted my back getting this house in tip-top shape. Was stressed about it as I want it to be perfect. Of course, realtor came over this morning to take photos and go over paperwork and pricing. She was really excited about the state of the house, which felt nice. Recommended raising the price another $5,000. It will be listed tomorrow, provided X responds with her crap in a timely fashion. Realtor said she preferred to take over contact with X for that. Fine by me. D7 had made a book about the house. A little flip book of stapled papers. Cover page with a drawing of the house. Inside each page is a drawing of something in the house. Toys, fridge, microwave, cabinets, TV, etc. Realtor went gooey over it and take pics of it, adamant that they be included in the listing. She said parents will eat it up. I'm excited, and a little terrified. Crossing my fingers, I get a good offer quickly. Last night proved to be an interesting evening. After the drop-off at X's brother and I went to good friend fitness instructor's place. We met up with a group of people at an outdoor culinary festival. Good time in the sun. After going home to change and let the dog out, we went back to friends where there were 2 women I hadn't met. One was with my friend. The other, school psych, I assumed was with his roommate. We all went out to some restaurants and clubs. I stuck to a beer and 2 shots over the evening and had a great time. Chatted up psych a bit about child psychology. Gorgeous woman. Smart, excellent body. By the end of the night, she got cut off. Stumbling, took a dive in her heels on the way back to friend's place. We had to help her back. I was tired and plopped down on the couch. Shut my eyes to get some sleep. Next thing I know there is woman, loosely wrapped in a blanket, standing over me asking for a massage in the bedroom. I obliged, but then I turned down the obvious offer for more, tucked her in and went back to the couch. Her drunkenness has turned me off, and I felt great about myself in the morning. 1 more month to go until everything outlined in the divorce paperwork is completed and in place. We had an agreement before she ever moved out. She keeps me on her health insurance until D is final. I keep her on car insurance until D is final. She's just upset because she's starting to wake up now that we're leaving and is realizing everything she has spaced. Easier to put some of it on me. In the last 2 weeks she has decided to change jobs, allegedly. Decided to quit smoking, allegedly. Got up and ready for kid swap. Taken D to aquarium. Decided to take D to grandma's. Got her car serviced. Remembered to do the title work. Thought about car insurance. Tried to get PTO to help with move. Offered to help with move. Nothing like crunch time. Nice to see the effort. Good for her. Doesn't change my plans. So, I had an excellent vacation in Vegas. I really can't think of any way that it could have been improved. I arrived and checked into the room and was joined by Tiger about an hour later. We picked up our packets for the run and ran into old friends. Chatted a bit and went back to the strip. Went out on the strip sightseeing. Rode the roller coaster, then stopped for dinner. I decided to be adventurous and try sushi again. I had only tried it once before and didn't like it. We got a few different kinds and I learned I really do like some kinds. Others not so much. I'm glad I didn't just write off all sushi like I have in the past. We explored more and had an excellent evening. In the morning we participated in the run, which was a great combination of exercise and fun. Part of the strip and Fremont were closed down for it. During the run you pass through a bunch of colored bubble pits. Mountains of bubbles spraying everywhere, staining everything. Went back to the hotel and cleaned up for another night out. Explored the strip more and probably walked another 5 to 10 miles. Stopped at an arcade and played air hockey. Threw darts at balloons. We alternated between deep conversation, joking and small bouts of very comfortable silence. just enjoying the moments. We went to the Stratosphere and had a blast on the rides at the top. Then we went a few floors down and had an excellent dinner in a rotating restaurant. I got adventurous again and tried some portobello. I had written off mushrooms as a kid and never gave them a chance as an adult. It was really good. We stayed until right before the restaurant closed. Had another excellent evening and had some very frank relationship discussions. She is somewhat concerned this is too much too fast for me and is reining herself in to be respectful of my situation. We agreed we should live in the present, be open and honest with each other, and have no expectations. The next day we stopped at our old friend's house, reconnected with them and met their kids. Then we said our goodbyes and parted ways, driving hundreds of miles in opposite directions. Life is grand. I stopped to pick up D7 on my way home last night. X was chattier than ever. They had just returned from their out-of-state visit with her grandparents an hour early. X had cleaned up and was in another new dress, full makeup. D7 had not had a bath. I noticed that the plants in her apartment are dying. She was always more the green thumb. My indoor plants are doing great, and the tomatoes in my garden are ripening up. She wanted to show me some photos on her phone even though you probably don't even care. I want to show you. I glanced and said cool, then back to D7. X asked about the run, if I did well, if it was fun, asked about the drive, told me she tried to look up the race online but there were hundreds of races in Vegas this weekend. I had previously told D7 about the bubbles. She asked before I went if there would be pink ones. So, I told D7 that there were indeed pink bubbles. Also, that the same run will be in our area in a couple weeks. I told them that I know some of the people working it who want me to bring D7 to see the bubbles. However, it will be on a set so we will have to go early before I drop D7 off. X told me it'd be fine to drop her off later than usual if giant pink bubbles were involved. Now just heard from realtor. Appraisal came in lower than offer. Buyer doesn't have cash for difference. X and I need to decide if we'll accept appraised value or relist and wait for a cash buyer. I do not want to wait. And about this new woman. She is more physically fit than me, more active. Once I started running, she encouraged me to sign up for the 5 kilometers. Yeah, I know a 5 kilometers isn't much but was a step for me having not run since track in high school. She eats healthier than I do, is very conscious about it. She was recently working at a yoga studio but got poached for a corporate gig cooking vegan lunches and running a juice bar for the employees. Even though she's never worked as a chef, she jumped at the chance and is stoked about it. She is devoted to her daughter. Her previous gig she had to commute away, so she did so for some time but save up all her money so she could be a stay-at-home mom for at least half a year while she looked for something local. And she budgets herself well, gives herself a payday. After that payday she won't withdraw anything else. She is well educated, would rather watch documentaries than movies. She has spoken about a lot of books. She is ahead of me with alcohol, has cut off her boozer and other toxic friends, has no desire to keep fair-weather friends in her life. This is a step I am starting. She has reconnected with her parents in a great way after distancing herself for some time. Something I can relate to, mainly due to religion on both our parts, but she is ahead of me there also. 10+ years ago we were in the same spot. Not a good one. Party life. Now, we are very even. I have taken the lunge into IC in a way that she has not. Yet before discussing mine with her she expressed a desire to do so. She has an incredible passion for self-improvement and is not satisfied with being stagnant. Even though she has progressed so far over the years, she does challenge me, asks me the tough questions, wants to know if I plan to continue IC after I relocate, asks about my stance on R with X, how I feel about XYZ. I dig. Just got a message from X's brother. Sis is doing like really bad. I don't know what to do. Me, I hate to see her doing bad. Truly breaks my heart. But she fired me, and I need to move on for me and D7. I know that you just being there to listen means a lot to her, but you can't fix it either. She needs to pick herself up. She fired you. She just told me she's losing her job. Ex-brother, I don't know man, like I'm listening as much as I can and trying to help. But I don't know if she's doing what mom does, or if she's just not doing well. Either way, it just feels like there's no control. It scares me man. Me, she didn't want to be married anymore. I tried to get her back. She refused. So, I gave her what she wanted. If you think she may be a danger to herself, she has a therapist you could call. As for X, as she wrecked her car, she's okay. Has a better one now. She told my mother on MD that her GM gave her a few grand to help with that. She lost her job. Big deal. Happens to people every day. Find another one. See, her daughter is moving far away. Do something about it. Everything is not my problem. But there is a real simple solution. Let's observe and see how good she is at math. Oh my god, just got the weirdest message. A woman I've known since I was 16, who lives near my hometown, heard I was coming back. Single. She says she is looking for a house to buy and wants me and D7 to move in and be roommates. What the hell? Went to pick up D from school. Found an open parking space. Noticed it was next to single mom who was again rocking out in her minivan with the window down. So, I threw her the metal devil horns hand gesture as I parked. We spoke again through our windows. Her, where have you been? Oh, I've been around. Told her I was moving soon. She asked if D was going too. Then if X was. Turns out she was raised by her dad and loved it. Turned out fine. Picked up D and returned to the car before single mom. As I pulled away, she ran to my window and said next time she needs to get my digits so we can talk. D was not impressed. T's funny. She really doesn't like her. More than a few times we've been standing in front of the school talking when the kids came out. The last time that happened D piped up. D, why is she always talking to you? Sharp contrast compared to when Tiger made an appearance for a BBQ. After hellos, D grabbed her hand and pulled her upstairs to show off her room. It's not looks either, as single mama's hair and complexion similar to ex-Tiger much different. I haven't taken single mom to the next level. Why? Red flags. She's been single since she split with her ex when her DS was a newborn. The DS is now in 2nd grade. She plans to still be single when her DS turns 18 so she can move away. Mostly definitely want no roots whatsoever. When I see her at the school, she bounces instantly from single dad to single dad like a steely in a pinball machine. Flirty ADHD type with no off switch. Her minivan is a piece of crap, broken down and ragged. But she's hot. Does that make up for everything else? No. I tell her I'm moving soon. Now she's running to my window wanting digits. Clearly has one thing on her mind. And one thing only. Not my bag. Now getting settled in at the short-term apartment. It's nice enough but quite a change from the big house. Proceeds came through which is nice. The day we left my little brother's and I went to X's apartment to pick up D7. I sent my bros off to get food so X and D could take their time saying goodbye. During their last weekend together before the move, X and D went out to eat, went to a movie, and to a house party, all with someone else. We spent time laughing and tickling, keeping it light for the most part. I told D I had walkie-talkies so she could talk to me in the moving truck during the drive. Also, how I had her TV set up with her favorites and a cooler full of healthy snacks. X then gave her a bag of candy and told me she had cheese and potato chips for breakfast. 10 to 1 want you to have fun on your trip. D, you're crying. I know it. 10 to 1 no I am. You keep calling me out on it. D, I know when you're going to cry. X, where are the boys? I love you baby girl. D, I want you to go to. 10 to 1 not coming with. I'm staying here. D, why aren't you? X, because I'm staying here. D, I want you to come too. 10 to 1 not going to Utah. D, but I want you to. 10 to 1 no. D, and I'll miss the recliner. X, you can still come and visit. D, I really like the recliner. It was clear D hit her emotional limit and was changing the subject. She did not get teary during the goodbye. The bros returned and we all went out to the parking lot. X buckled D into her seat and said goodbye. X was breaking down in tears, was unable to look me in the eyes. I did not hug her. I did not say goodbye to her. I simply climbed into the truck and started driving away. As I passed where she was standing, I looked at her and waved. She waved back, then covered her mouth with her hands, sobbing. The trip went well. D was a trooper. I had her call her mom when we stopped at the hotel, when we left in the morning, and when we arrived at our destination. She spent a couple days playing with her cousins and grandma while I unloaded and set up essentials in the new place. I stayed at grandma's with her in the evenings. It is now our 2nd night in the new apartment. D has had her own mobile phone for 2 days now, which she won't let out of her sight and loves talking to her mom on it. I met up with T for coffee one day. The next day she came over to help me unpack while D was with her cousins. D loves spending time with them and asks daily to go to grandma's. Her little cousins live next door. T and I will be going camping this weekend. This new chapter is shaping up quite well. How do you define mental breakdown? I think she has these on a small level very frequently. The fact that she is where she is, childless, jobless, divorced, shows that she is in the deep end, treading water, able to stay afloat at times, sinking a bit, then back up. Email from X at 1 a.m. Thank you. The only 2 people in hometown that I have any real concern about are Toxic Friend 1 and Toxic Friend 2. They both make me particularly uneasy. Hopefully neither one will be a concern in the future. Again, thank you for keeping me informed. I will send a money order ASAP. Those familiar with the anger cycle will likely recognize this as the honeymoon phase. She probably didn't like the email demanding money. So, she imploded, then recognized that while in that chaos she failed to reach out to her daughter, felt bad about it, thought I would be angry about it. So, responded nicely to try to smooth things over without acknowledging any fault. Next will be a pretend everything is normal phase, leading to another buildup, which will result in either another implosion or an explosion. Repeat, I'm checking out the new town. I keep thinking things can't get any better, and then they do. I notice there is a climbing gym and fun park right next to each other. Just a quick walk through the parking lot. Yesterday D7 spent some time at her grandparents' house while I ran errands, getting new license plates, etc. When I returned, she didn't want to leave. This is a good thing. She is very comfortable with them and enjoys her time there. She is warming up to the family quickly and values her time with them. So, I let her stay and play, and met up with Tiger for dinner. Today I caught up at work after the week off. Now time to shop for a new washer and dryer. After D-Day, 2 months of in-house separation. 60-day waiting period before divorce was finalized. 3 months of joint sessions and kid swaps with the ex. Weekly IC. And finally the big move out of state with my D7. I am now climbing to new heights. I haven't felt better in longer than I can remember. I'm enjoying my life, my daughter, my work, my family, and my new personal freedom. And with that, I will start the new chapter of my life. My comment, I will come back with update tomorrow. Hopefully OP is getting out of this okay.